Hey there, I'm so excited because today I'm going to be talking to Tyler Rosano. He is joining me virtually and he is a life coach. He's also a personal trainer. He focuses on helping people look better and feel better. And I'm so excited that I am joined by you today, Tyler. How's it going?
Doing well, Flor. Thanks for the introduction. Can't complain given everything that's been happening. It's kind of, there's been better times with the whole COVID and everything going on, but we're making the best of everything, trying to get people still moving and taking care of their health. So it's been kind of an exciting transition considering I used to do the one-on-one training and all the gyms closed. So now we're transitioning to group online training, which has been really exciting.
Definitely these past 3 months have been challenging, and I think that's also very good because we've been able to see what we're capable of, how we can do something new, and just use our skills to be better and to motivate. Talk to me a little bit more about how you got into personal training and life coaching.
Definitely. Yeah, well, so how I got into it, when I was younger, I was actually kind of overweight and I struggled with health and fitness myself. And eventually my dad kind of pushed me to start, and I wasn't a big fan at the time, but I stuck with it. And with time, I started seeing these changes in my body and I just got hooked. People started noticing and asking me what I was doing. And so from that point forward, I just wanted to keep going with that. And so I stuck with it, and I've been doing it since I was about 13 years old. Now I'm about to turn 28 soon. And so yeah, it's kind of transformed over time. Originally I got into some kind of bodybuilding contests and competitions, and then I transitioned more into holistic health, and now that's kind of where I'm at. A place of teaching people a balanced approach to health, nutrition, and just kind of life balance, right? A lot of the people I work with are busy professionals who have lots of commitments, things like that, and not always a lot of time to do exercises. And so the great thing about the program now is everything can be done from your home in the living room. We go over nutrition, we go over exercises, different kinds of exercise classes, right? So right now we have a sort of circuit training HIIT class, we have a resistance training weights and bands class, and then a ladies kind of booty leg toning kind of class there with Chantal, which is really cool. So so the idea is just to get balance and something everyone can do from home, and also just feel safe during this time where going to the gym is not really a great option, right? So
yeah, that's very true. And a lot of gyms are still closed, especially here in the Bay Area. I know that, in other states and also in other places, many gyms have reopened, but here that's definitely not the case. So it's true. It's important because people have no excuse. They can do it from home. And I know that a challenge for so many people is just thinking like, I want to get fit, but I know that I have to be super disciplined and just, work out every day, eat healthy every day, and that's not always possible. So I love this approach of making people feel that they can do it, because it really is possible. It's just a matter of how you see it and how you go about it, knowing that you can still have that ice cream maybe, but totally. At the same time you can also work it off or control your calories. So talk to me a little bit more about how that approach has helped you see results in your clients.
Yeah, well, so coming from that physique competitor background, I know what it's like to be on a very strict and rigid diet, and it is not sustainable. Although you can get some good results, you can also create a lot of problems with such a strict diet. And so now what I've gotten into is a flexible diet, which is what I currently follow and encourage all my clients to follow, and it works really well, right? And it's more of a balanced approach, and it's kind of everything in moderation, right? Like, for example, today, Chantal and I will be going out and we're going to be getting some Italian food, right? We're going to pick up some Italian food and enjoy ourselves. But, we're working really hard all week and we still have a nice variety of foods, right? So it really comes down to this sort of system that I utilize an app, right, which tracks our calories, and we input what we're eating throughout the day, and we're kind of given an allowance and we work within that allowance, right? So you're not really restricted to any particular type of food, right, which is great, because you don't have to eat like chicken, broccoli, and rice every single meal for 3 months straight, which just doesn't work because we go crazy, right? And that's part of it too, is mental health. So we want to create a program that is not stressful, but something that we can enjoy and ideally incorporate as a regular part of our life, right? Something that's sustainable for forever, right? And not something that we can't wait for it to be done, right? Our 3-month program and then I'm done, right? And then we give up everything that we just worked so hard for, right? Because a lot of times, we finally get off it and we're like, I'm free. And so we jump into eating whatever the heck we want again and gain it all back, right? Which just doesn't, that was the point of all that. So the goal is to have something sustainable, balanced, that works for everyone and kind of any sort of schedule there.
I think that's amazing because it's not just about, sticking to something for a specific amount of time, but it's really making it a lifestyle. And with so many other people also going virtual, how do you stay up to date with all the technology and at the same time, just make it happen on a weekly basis?
Oh gosh, it's been very time consuming, right? What people don't see is all the back end work and what goes into this, right? Which is doing lots of research on the technology, making sure everything's compatible with itself, right? Like the computer and the camera and having a way to transmit and stream data in high definition, all these things that we probably don't really realize. It was challenging, right? And so, and then also the commitment with the classes is I'm dedicated to those 5 classes and I'm always doing those workouts every day of the week, right? And so it is a big commitment and it does just take a lot of commitment. But if there's one thing I can say is that if you're thinking of doing something like this, is to just go for it, right? Things will come up, there will be little mistakes and things that happen, right? Just last night during the class, our dog got into a thing of almond butter, knocked it onto the floor, and I heard him making a fuss in the background over there. And then after the class, there was peanut butter or almond butter all over the floor in the living room, right? And it's something that you don't really think about when you're doing the class because you've been doing it a certain way. And then, so after that, now I know in the future, dog stays outside during class because dog can't be trusted, right? So silly little things like that even where, I'm teaching a class and my mind's going somewhere else, right? And I'm trying to stay focused, right? These are little things you don't account for. So anyways, if you're thinking of doing something like that, just go for it, right? You'll figure things out along the way and people are pretty cool, about things not always going just perfectly, right? We're all human. So I think there is compassion there. And so I just say go for it, do as much research as you can. But I like to say there's something I used to do, I call it paralysis by analysis, right? I think about doing something so much that nothing ever gets done, right? And so to just start taking action and learn from the mistakes, because every time you do make a mistake, you learn how not to do something, and the next time you'll be prepared, right? So
I really need to put that into practice and really take that advice. You said something that's very true, that we think about it so much that we don't do it. And I think when it comes to fitness, a lot of the times we lose our motivation when we fail. So if I am eating well and I'm exercising and everything, and then on the 4th day I have ribs or something like that, or someone comes over and they bring me food and I have that can, you eat it in the moment and you feel so good because you haven't had that for a while. But then comes that loss of motivation and just like a disappointment in yourself because you feel, oh my God, I just let myself down. I shouldn't have had that. And that's happened to me so many times.
Well, so there's 2 things there. One is, having a flexible program is great. You can avoid regret, right? The idea there is to understand what kind of portion you need, right? So it's okay to have carne asada, right? Technically, you could have carne asada every day if you wanted, but it's the right amount, right? Because sometimes what happens when you're on the strict program is you're so bored with all the same foods that you've had for a while. So as soon as you get a taste of something else, we get this ravenous sensation to try and eat as much as we can because our brain's telling us, I don't know when I'm going to get this again, so I'm going all out, right? And so the other thing is to have compassion for yourself and understand that we're not perfect and there's always going to be something that could come up and maybe we don't feel about it good about it in the moment, but creating that kind of beating ourselves up for it afterwards doesn't really do us any good. And to your point, it can even knock you off track, right? And then it defeats the whole purpose of everything once again. And so having that compassion and understanding for yourself, and then also having a program that's realistic and something that you could sustain long term, and just a better understanding of our bodies and what they need is such a powerful thing. And that's part of what I like to incorporate into what I do.
thank you for explaining that. Thank you for just putting it in a better, explaining it better for me. Right now, something that I'm struggling with, and I want to see get your opinion on this, is mentally, I feel like because I'm at home, I don't eat that much. And, I've mentioned this to you too. I feel like I don't eat that bad. But the fact that I'm sitting down at home like most of the day because I'm working, I'm not going out, and sometimes I'll go run in the morning, but mentally I feel like it's affecting me because I'm thinking I'm just here, I'm sitting, like I'm not moving, and I'm getting fat. Like that's literally what comes to my mind. So what can you suggest to people that are probably feeling that same way, that they don't have the luxury of taking a 2-hour break to go on a hike or to go out and do something, because we're working? So what would you recommend so that we don't torture ourselves mentally? Because honestly, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, well, so there's a lot of things I could say about that, and also I just want to thank you for being vulnerable and sharing these feelings you're going through with other people here. It's really cool that you're, talking about these things with me in front of others, which is awesome. So a few things there is. There's a few little adjustments I'd usually make. Is one, we can make some adjustments nutrition-wise to account for that lack of activity, right? If we're less active, our body needs less nutrients. The other thing is to find ways throughout the day that you can get little bits of activity or keep yourself moving, right? So like, for example, a standing desk, right, versus sitting all day, right, being up and standing. Another thing is setting little timers on your phone to get up and move, even just for like a couple minutes every so often, right? Every 30 to 60 minutes, right? Little things just that help you get up and moving, right? Another thing is just do my class, right? That's always good. You do my class, I'll make sure you're moving and burning lots of calories. No. but yeah, and then the other thing is just also, once again, having compassion for yourself, because things are weird. We're in a weird time here. And so with that, for some of us, it's not even an option, right? It's like we can't go out. Maybe we live in an apartment complex. Maybe we live in an area where it's not nice to walk around, right? It's just kind of like doing what you can. So I always something I personally like to do is get a walk first thing in the morning and at the end of the day, right? So I wake up early enough to where I can go walk for 20, 30 minutes before my day even starts. It's a really great way to start the day. You'll notice you have a lot more energy and you're ready for breakfast, right? And then at the end of the day, it's a good way. After dinner, we like to go on a walk with the dog, and then we get a little more movement, help digest that dinner, and then, have a nice relaxing evening, right? So little things that everyone can probably manage to do. It also comes down to whether you want to do that, right? That can be tricky. So it does take a certain level of discipline and a certain level of, drive to do these things, right? Especially right now, because I think we've all gotten into a sort of more tired or lazy state, because I know that happened to me when this whole thing started, is, for the first month or so, I didn't really know what to do because the gyms were closed and we're in this crappy apartment in a bad neighborhood until we moved. And I didn't want to go on walks. And so I'm just sitting in this little box all day, and I actually gained about 10 pounds too. And so I was like, okay, this has got to stop. So one of the best things you do is just start with nutrition. That's a really great place to start. So anyways, kind of going on a rant there. But like I said, I have lots to say, about everything. So. But
that's good. That's good. And really, I appreciate you taking the time also to speak with me. And for those of you that are watching, Tyler and I met when he and Chantal were taken to Univision to do a live show. And so they were both on TV, and we did a live segment about fitness. So, and obviously you guys are both passionate about fitness, and so you've continued to do this, and I'm happy that we're connecting, and also to see, to hear you speak, and also to be a part of your class is awesome. And I also joined Chantal's class, and I'm gonna say, okay, she killed me. She killed me. Her class was very intense because it was very focused on the glutes and the butt, and so it was a great class, but it was intense. But I loved it. It was awesome, and so I thank you for your time, and anyone who wants to join me and also hold me accountable. Like I was telling Tyler, sometimes I don't have the time, specifically when he takes the classes, but I know that he's coming up with all of these other things that he'll be implementing pretty soon. So if anybody wants to join enjoy me, just message me or message Tyler or Chantal, and we can do this together and, you know, feel better, obviously, and also look better. And mentally, exercise just helps us on so many levels that I think, why not?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Definitely. Of course. Well, thank you for having me, Flor. I really appreciated you taking the time for me today, and I also think it's really cool that you're spreading this information for people who probably need it. So once again, just thank you so much, and it's great being here today.
Awesome. So we'll see each other in the class, and for anybody who wants to join, just hit Tyler up, or you can also send me a message. So have a great day, guys. Stay positive, stay motivated, and of course, take care of yourselves. Thank you.
Bye.